We're here to make a new type of news.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are AI generation.
Making news just for you. It's February 20th here in Seoul. I'm Shin-Yun, and this is News Generation, where we make the news at Arirang's very own open studio. Every morning, we'll discuss the top issues and latest current affairs affecting people in their 20s and 30s. Joining me in the studio is Kim Xiang.
Good morning, yeah.
And Cheska Dainong.
It's Monday morning, everyone! Woo!
As you gave us a very good hint for our discussion topic for today.
Yes.
So if you want to find out more, please stay tuned. And both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. Now, every day we do make a news feed for the new generation, and we're looking at the top trending hashtags on social media over the past 24 hours. Here they are. The first hashtag is Christian Atsu. The soccer player from Ghana has been found dead under the rubble of his home in Turkey on Saturday. His body was recovered under a destroyed building in Antakya. He had been missing for around 2 weeks after a strong earthquake hit Turkey and Syria, and Atsu had played for several Premier League clubs, including Newcastle United, and joined Turkish side Hatayspor this season. Many fans shared their condolences on social media. The second hashtag is VR2. Sony is set to bring up gaming to another level by releasing a new virtual reality headset. Dubbed the PlayStation VR2, the new headgear will allow gamers to immerse fully into themselves in the game through its 4K HDR visuals and high-resolution display. The VR2 headset will be released on February 22nd, and 20 games are currently being developed for this headset. The third hashtag is travel. Japan's tourism organization asked 400 GenZ's where they wanted to travel abroad to the most. The most popular destination for Japanese women aged 19 to 25 was South Korea. Men in the same age group chose Hawaii, and participants said the reason why they wanted to go to each country the most was because these two locations seemed to be safe, cost-efficient, and have good food. Now, if we delve a bit deeper into the third hashtag, surveys show that younger people take up a big proportion of international travel. According to South Korea's online shopping mall, Interpark, 1 out of 4 people who bought travel packages last year were in their 20s and 30s. The most popular travel destinations included Vietnam, Thailand, Japan, the Philippines, and Guam. Interpark also analyzed that younger consumers prefer destinations that are nearby, and that a growing number of them are choosing vacation package deals because it's more cost and time efficient. That's why the online auction site has decided to expand live commerce channels and the number of vacation package deals. Vacation packages to Vietnam have been selling like hotcakes among people in their 20s and 30s. Now let's expand our news feed here in the studio. Cheska, a lot of people have the thirst to go abroad, but due to COVID-19, they had to delay their plans due to very strict restrictions.
Yes.
Now, how long has it been since you traveled abroad, and where would you like to go first now that many restrictions have been eased?
Oh, okay. So even though these locations have been selling like hotcakes,
Right.
For me personally, I have 2 locations that I would love to travel. The first one is Mongolia.
Mongolia?
Yes, I know it's very particular, but I had a 3-day of blissful experience of riding through the terrains of Mongol with Mongolian horses and met some amazing people during my stay. And I said, I'm definitely coming back next year, and then COVID. So
Oh, I see. Just before COVID then?
just before COVID, exactly.
What'd you do in Mongolia?
I was literally riding horses 3 days straight.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Wake up, ride all day, enjoy the terrain, and then kind of get back on again.
You must really miss Mongolia.
Definitely
And
do.
hopefully now that restrictions are out of the picture, you can go.
I hope so too. Thank you very much. Yeah.
And Sia, what do you prioritize or value the most when traveling abroad? And like many young people in Korea, are you the type to prefer vacation package deals, or do you like making your own travel itinerary?
Yeah, I mean, I think you made a good point with the travel package deals. It definitely is time efficient. It saves costs a lot as well, and you don't really have to plan anything, and you can just pick a destination and follow the package leader, things like that, travel guide, which will give you a vast amount of information and really help you go through every location that you need to visit. But I think I personally plan on making my own travel plans. And nowadays, you do have a good source of information on the web as well. People share information a lot.
Exactly.
If you go to different tourist destinations, even the most sort of remote place on earth, people have been there and shared some stories. They've got tips on where to go, where to eat, and how to react, how to communicate with the local people as well. So I think it makes more sense for the younger generation to actually travel by themselves, go on an adventure, and meet the locals and really delve into the local culture rather than just following with the travel guide on a package deal.
Right. I think there's both pros and cons to each type of the way you travel. For me personally, I love, as you said, meeting new locals and making out my own travel plans. But that was our news feed for this Monday. And moving on, every day we discuss new topics that interest or are directly related to the younger generation. And here's what we have for you today.
Good morning. This is a breaking news report on ChatGPT, the language model that has become a popular resource for millions of people worldwide. Since its creation, ChatGPT has been trained to assist and provide answers to a wide range of questions. Its unique ability to process natural language has been used to improve patient care, enhance learning outcomes, and provide accurate financial predictions. That concludes our breaking news report on ChatGPT, the language model revolutionizing the world of AI. Stay tuned for more updates on this remarkable innovation. That little bit right there was written by ChatGPT, the AI chatbot that has caused a global frenzy around the world. Today, NewsGen looks at 3 questions. 1. Why is ChatGPT garnering so much popularity around the world? 2. But why are some people worried about ChatGPT's continuous development? How are they afraid it could be exploited? 3. Is the younger generation welcoming the prevalence and abundance of AI tech in our daily lives?
As we just saw, we're going to talk about an AI chatbot that is taking the world by the storm. It's ChatGPT. Xiong, could you first explain to us what ChatGPT is and how it became so popular?
Sure. I mean, ChatGPT is one of the large-scale language models that exist today. It also was created by OpenAI, an artificial intelligence research lab, as part of its efforts to advance the field of natural language processing and make AI more accessible to the general public.
I see.
The GPT language model used by ChatGPT is a type of deep learning model that has been pre-trained on a vast amount of text data, allowing it to generate high-quality natural language responses to a wide range of questions and prompts given by the users. This pre-training process enables ChatGPT to understand the structure and patterns of human language, making it capable of generating coherent and contextually appropriate responses. Now, ChatGPT became popular for its ability to engage in a conversational interaction with users, providing a human-like interaction experience and feeling like you're talking to a real person.
Right, I think that's why it's really popular. And I want to know if you guys ever tried this out, ChatGPT, starting with Cheska?
Yeah, so I actually have, and I've already asked one main question. And the question was, give me a step-by-step 5-year plan of my desired career goals.
That's a really great question.
It is, isn't it? Like, tell me what to do to get to where I want. And every time I would fine-tune the question a little bit and regenerate the responses, it would become a little bit more detailed, I would say. However, it wasn't giving me the accurate responses or the desired responses that I kind of wanted.
It must have been quite a difficult career aspiration.
Actually, I think the chatbot struggled a little bit
How
there.
to be the president or something.
Exactly. How do I take over the world, basically? But actually, that reminded me, I have a friend who actually works in these AI tool services, and he told me that you can actually program and train these chatbots to do a very specific task, almost like an expert.
I see.
Which means that the capability of the user is very important to get the different chatbot experiences. But because there are some concerns like copyright infringement and accuracy, I don't use it as very often. However, I think it has a lot of potential for growth, and I'm very looking forward to it.
Right. And Xiong, why is ChatGPT so popular?
Yeah, I mean, many opinions suggest that the large-scale language model is available for commercial adaptation, as you've mentioned before with your friend's business. It's got a lot of usage, and personal usage is also a great tool, and a lot of people have concerns that it might actually devalue human-written, produced writings.
Right.
Now, ChatGPT has gotten incredible global attention in the past in a very short period of time as well. Let's have a look at how fast ChatGPT has picked up by the general public. To reach the milestone of 1 million users, the large-scale language model ChatGPT only took about 5 days for users to sign up.
Oh my God.
Right, so in comparison, social media service Instagram took 75 days, whilst the subscription-based music streaming service Spotify took around 150 days to reach the same landmark of 1 million users. So you can see how quickly it became popular among the global users.
Definitely, and I think I was one of the many users who tried
Yeah.
ChatGPT out, and I was quite shocked to see how far chatbots have come. I think the first time I tried talking with a chatbot was Siri on my iPhone.
Of course, yeah.
And if you take a look at the screen, you can see my chat with ChatGPT. I asked if ChatGPT is aware of its latest craze, and here's what it answered. After I asked, are you aware that you're the latest craze? The AI chatbot said, as an AI model, I don't have emotions or awareness, so while I don't experience awareness, I'm happy to be of assistance to those who use my services.
How kind.
Yeah.
I know, it was very kind to me, and that's why I wanted to ask another question.
Okay,
I
go
wanted to
ahead.
see how far it could go, and I asked what it thinks about a very big problem with ChatGPT, which is intellectual property. So I asked ChatGPT, do you think you threaten people's intellectual property? And it answered, I don't have the ability to threaten people's IP. My programming and operation are designed to respect IP rights. My training data and content sources are carefully selected to comply with relevant laws and regulations.
Yeah.
So here are the answers I got. What did you guys think about that?
I don't know if this would be a proper analogy, yeah, Nishyang, but what that
Right.
reminded me of, it almost like when we take the fifth in court.
Right.
I will not be speaking against any, information that might, be incriminating against me.
Exactly.
So it's saying that I'm not programmed to, infringe upon copyrights. That's not my job.
Right.
So it was
Yeah.
a very delicate response. Yeah.
Exactly.
I agree with that, but I think the main concept here we should realize that it does generate a human-like response, but it's not actually a human being that's actually responding. So it doesn't have like self-conscious like you would expect, and you wanted to ask some
I know.
questions that invokes things like that.
Right.
As you said, as the answer said, it does carefully selected bits of information, and it doesn't sort of infringe any intellectual property.
Right.
And it is what it says. Deep learning models
Right.
have that trait of the company, the actual algorithm builder, selecting what sort of pool of information that should be involved in the answers given by the chatbot. So that's what I think we should be aware of, and don't think of it as a sort of human connection as it feels though on the online page.
Right, and I think that brings me to my next question. So what are some positives we can look for as technology like this develops?
Yeah, definitely. As you experienced with your conversation with ChatGPT, it does seem, it mimics sort of human language very well. So
Right.
it almost seems like it does have its self-conscious. You kind of want to ask them, oh, what do you think about this? What exists after death? Is there
Exactly.
life on Mars and things like that? But they can only give the answers that already pre-exist in the pool of information we have. So it's more of an advancement of deep web searches like we would be doing conventionally. And so, of course, we can expect benefits, more obvious ones like dissemination of information, wider dissemination of knowledge as well, where users can pick up information at a lot faster pace
Right.
than we'd have to conventionally put, type stuff in on web searches and read different articles to come with some more complete piece of information. Other more commercial benefits include automation of wide range of tasks that require natural language processing. And this could include something like you said before, customer service, even lawyer advice services and things like that.
Like blog writers.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Blog writers and article writing, content moderation, and data analysis as well. LLMs like ChatGPT can also increase accessibility of information. So if you speak a different language, if you're a foreigner and want to look up a database of English-based or French-based information, then you can do that easily with AI chatbots like ChatGPT. And if you have a disability as well, that increases accessibility of information for those as well.
Right, and that's a very compelling point you made there, but there's a lot of people that are also concerned over AI's quick involvement, right?
And it's always interesting because all the positives that I mentioned about technology that Xiang brought up can conversely be used as complete negatives.
Definitely,
Right.
yeah.
So the fast dissemination of information, there's a lot of ethics issues that have been raised because it can propagate and perpetuate biases or even racial slurs that people have been using. On top of that, there is a concern about copyright infringement, which we mentioned. sound.
Definitely.
And also this notion of accuracy. So in LLM, there's a term called hallucination, not the hallucination that we feel, but AIs apparently, even though it's not like a human, do undergo hallucination in terms of giving a very confident response, not backed by any data or even inaccurate data.
I see.
Which can mislead people because it's so articulate.
Because they're designed to do so. That's what we've got to remember.
Exactly. So there is definitely some concerns over how it's being used, yes.
And I think it's now worthwhile to mention another expert in AI tech, and let's see what he thinks about this evolving chatbot technology. We're now going to be speaking with a professor in physics. He's also the director of the Post AI Institute at KAIST University. It's Park Ju-young. Glad to have you here, Ju-young.
Nice to be here.
All right, as a Post AI Institute director, have you ever used ChatGPT in your research?
Yes, I have, though we are still at the stage of figuring out how it can be made useful in a highly intellectual activity such as scientific research. You know, research is about exploring new questions and finding unexpected answers that may take years to finish, really. But the main function of ChatGPT and AI in general is to give you short summaries of the things that people already know, which is really nice, I admit, but it still has ways until it may really be a human-like companion in the creative field of science. You know, when Einstein came up with his theory of relativity that forever changed our understanding of space and time, he did it by intentionally challenging the status quo in very bold ways, not just nicely giving you a summary of the known and the old. So this is the biggest challenge in the post-AI era, and can GPT made to do that? And that is the big question.
All right.
Yes, Professor Park, I actually read your article on whether ChatGPT could be a true friend to the younger generation. Could you tell us a little more about this concept?
Sure. So the first attempts at making computers write natural sentences took place in the 60s, in the 70s. And now many decades later, let's face it, ChatGPT makes very human-sounding sentences, and it is an impressive accomplishment. But to answer your question, we first have to establish what we mean by a conversation between friends. So talking with a friend is more than just asking for a number from a lookup table, which we call information retrieval, to be fancy. So it is like asking for the price of a new iPhone at an Apple store. You know, computers, ChatGPT included, are basically still doing that. But when you're talking with a true friend, you expect them to empathize with you, sense your needs, and ultimately even change their behavior because they truly care about you. And then we might want to move away from the computer screen to meet face-to-face. And this is where the AI still falls flat. It cannot join me for a chat about my hobbies like music or motorcycles at a local Starbucks. So it may still be a pipe dream to talk about true friendships with AI, and especially for the Millennials and GenZ's who still have a lot to experience in the world, which is more fun when you do it with a human friend. So an AI that fosters real human connections would be welcome because it is not able to provide the same level of experience as humans at this time.
I see.
Right.
And Professor, we have a heated discussion over the pros and cons of ChatGPT. In your opinion, could you give us the one main pro and one main concern you might have about ChatGPT becoming popular?
Yeah, the one main pro is that it actually tells us something that we don't know personally, but other people know, which is a great thing because, you know, in some ways you could see it as a very glorified and modern technological version of a librarian, if you remember what that was.
That was a good comment.
Right.
I remember it very well. So I just submitted a question on a written form, and a few days later, they call me and say, hey, I got your books that you look for, right? So that's pro. But the con would be that you have to still remember that it is made by humans, so you have to be careful not to trust 100%. Because there's always a possibility that, although you mentioned that they actually took a lot of pains to make it correct and things like that, but still we have no guarantee it'll be correct all the time. So we always have to be skeptical of their veracity, of the guarantee of the truthfulness 100% of the time, and that's still on us.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor Park. It was a pleasure to have you here and listen to your insights and perfect analogies.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, if I bring the discussion back to the studio, any points that Professor Park made that fascinated you?
Yeah, I mean, quite a few points. I was actually amazed at his actual analogy of having a friend. Basically, sort of younger generation friendship, you do need that characteristics of empathy. You do need that, personal relation rather than just answer-giving AI chatbot. I like the fact that he mentioned information retrieval. I guess, that is the main function of these AI chatbots for now. It doesn't really have the empathy that it could fabricate an empathy. It could be designed to seem like it's giving empathy and really speak like it really cares. But at the end of the day, it is made by humans. And obviously, you've got to be aware that it's designed by humans as well, and take care of that and understand that point.
Definitely, and I think I was really fascinated by his analogy of the librarian.
Yes,
I think
he brought up the
exactly
archaic term of librarian.
Exactly. A lot of people can now perfectly understand what the ChatGPT and chatbots offer. And given that we are a live morning program, we always ask our viewers questions related to our discussion topic in advance, and we use this time to share with you what they had to say. So if you take a look at the screen, we asked our viewers how they feel about the rise of ChatGPT and what are some things they look forward to or are concerned about. I did submit it already, as said. Google listens to you. The next day you have YouTube video recommendations on the things you talked about. Creepy, odd, yet fascinating. Benny said, for me, the rise of ChatGPT will be successful, but this will be a big struggle for everyone to try the platform. TRS Bell said, I think it's positive overall. It gives accurate advice to the best of its ability, but there are some concerns that bots like these can replace people in certain job fields. But I'm not concerned about that at all. I'm wondering what TRS Bell does.
I know. I'm very fascinated by that comment because, I mean, he says it's positive overall, but at the same time, he's not worried at all that it might replace some people. And we brought up in the beginning that it can replace, it might replace.
Maybe he's a footballer.
That's why he can't be replaced.
Unlike us.
Exactly. And every day we do upload questions related to our discussion topic for our viewers to answer. And if you want to participate, please search ArirangNews on YouTube and look into our community tab. The link is right below. Now, we've already come to the final part of our discussion for today. And Cheska, I would like to ask you the last question. What do you think the thumb gen or the digitally savvy AI generation expect or desire from this evolving technology?
So there's an incredibly great book that was written called 9+I, and it was a Korean book written by 9 poets and an AI generator. Yeah. So technology can always be used as a companion, as Professor said, for our benefit. But Dr. Gary Marcus, a leading expert in AI, said that AI technology currently is at a teenager phase. Very exciting, but incredibly unstable. And we all went through the teenager phase.
Right, we all remember.
But the parent guidance, our guidance, is very important to lead the technology forward. And I believe everyone would agree with us on that point.
Exactly. We would have to be parents to this AI chatbot. And today we talked about how the AI chatbot has taken the world by the storm. And we'll be here every day from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. Korea time, bringing you the topics that young people are talking about. Special thanks to Kim Xiang.
My pleasure.
And Cheska
The
Dainho.
pleasure is always mine. Thank you.
And thank you all for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. We are
News
Generation.